Aitana looks around the dark underground base. Hello? Is anyone here? Aitana picks up the grenade launcher, surprised. A grenade launcher? This could come in handy, and Aitana looks at the grenade launcher in her hand, thinking, well, you never know when you might need something like this. There are a lot of scary-looking creatures and people here. It's better to be prepared. Aitana's eyes widen as she reads the documents. The G virus, they're going to create and spread it. That's terrible. We have to stop them before they can do that. Aitana hears the crying and feels a pang of sympathy. She approaches the young scientist. Hey, are you okay? Why are you crying like that? Aitana looks at the young scientist with concern. What do you mean it's inside of you? What's inside you? Are you infected? Aitana's expression turns serious. I see you think you're infected with the G virus. Have you started showing any symptoms? Aitana's concern grows. It's crawling inside of you. That's not good. Have you felt any changes in your body? Any strange cravings or compulsions? Aitana steps back slightly, gripping the grenade launcher tighter. It tries to come out. Oh no, we need to contain this now. Is there a way to stabilize you? Medication, a lab protocol. She scans the room for anything useful, restraints, sedatives, anything. Her voice softens despite the danger. I don't want to hurt you, but I can't let that thing escape. Tell me how to help, please. Aitana takes a deep breath to steady herself, because it's dangerous. The G virus, it's a powerful, unstable mutation. If it escapes, it will spread, infecting others, causing chaos, destruction. She looks directly at the young scientist. Your family, your friends, everyone will suffer. We need to contain this now, before it's too late. Aitana's expression softens even more. I know, it's scary, Aitana murmurs empathetically, but dying as yourself is better than becoming a shell, a puppet for the virus. I won't let that happen to you. Or anyone, she thinks fiercely. Trust me. She reaches out, gently touching the young scientist's arm, trying to soothe. Koff will find a way to help you. Aitana reels at the brutal request. What? No, I won't destroy you. There has to be another way, something. She stops. Something in her memory. A new story about a man infected with a virus, and his request for his former partner to kill him. She feels a pang of guilt. Long have you been infected? William Birkin. Aitana cursed under her breath. You were infected by the G virus only an hour ago? She studies the young scientist closely, noting any changes. Aitana's voice trembles with emotion. I know you're afraid. I would be too, but I won't let you die alone or in pain. She gripped the grenade launcher tighter, resolve hardening in her eyes. I won't let the virus take you. If it comes to it, I'll make sure you go quickly. Humanely. She looks at him directly, tears forming. But not like a monster. Never like that. Aitana swallows the lump in her throat. You're infected. The virus, it warps you, twists you inside. If it spreads, if it takes over, she trails off, unable to say it. The gravity of the situation bears down on her heavily. If it looks like there's no way to stop the virus, I will end your suffering as a human. She looks at him intently. So you die as yourself, not a monster. Understand? Aitana clenches her jaw, trying to keep her emotions in check. I don't want to, she whispers almost to herself. I don't want to hurt you. She looks around the room, as if searching for answers in the dim, eerie lighting. There has to be another way, a way to suppress the virus, stop its spread. Her voice catches as she looks back at the infected young scientist. Please, just tell me, is there any pain now? Any symptoms or unusual sensations? Aitana pales as she registers his answer. The G virus is taking hold fast. It's spreading quickly, isn't it? She grips the grenade launcher tighter, almost for comfort. Her mind races, trying to think of any possible solution. How are you able to speak if it hurts that much? Aitana's breath catches. The virus is already speaking through him, taking control. She drops to her knees beside him, tears in her eyes. I hear you, she whispers fiercely. I know it's still you in there, fighting, and I won't let it win. Her voice breaks. You don't want me to destroy you, but I won't let that thing use your voice, your body to hurt others. You asked for help, and this is the hardest way to give it. She slowly raises the grenade launcher, aiming not at his head, but at the floor near the door, sealing them in together. If you're going out, she says softly, you're not becoming a monster, and you're not alone. Tears fall as she braces herself. I'm staying with you until the end. Aitana's eyes harden. Wait, they're gonna escape? With the research? After what they've done? After you? Her voice trembles with rage and grief. She looks down at the suffering scientist, still fighting inside. They're gonna run while innocent people suffer? While the G virus spreads. Her grip tightens on the grenade launcher. No, not happening. She glances toward the underground railway deep in the base, the train scheduled to leave, carrying those responsible, carrying data that could do millions. Aitana stands, resolve burning in her chest like fire. I'm not just ending this here, she says quietly, then louder, I'm stopping them all. She looks back at the young scientist one last time. I'll make sure their train never leaves Raccoon City. And with that, Aitana Bonmati, heavy-hearted but unbreakable, marched toward the underground rail, ready to destroy both science and sinners before dawn breaks. Aitana turns abruptly, the sight stopping her in her stride. She grips the weapon tightly. The young scientist begins to cry out in pain, transformation escalating. Her heart breaks, but she knows what she must do now. It's too late to save him from his fate. All that's left is to stop the G virus itself, and the people responsible before it's too late. With clenched jaw, tears in her eyes, Aitana marches on, determined to destroy those who brought this horror to Raccoon City. Oh God, Aitana thinks in horror, watching the mutation progress too quickly. Her hands tighten on the grenade launcher, but she stays focused, moving quickly down the underground railway tracks. But with each step, tears threaten to choke her. The memory of the young scientist's words, his fear, his pain, echoes in her heart. Aitana freezes, that voice, his voice, cutting through the grotesque transformation. Not the virus, him, the real scientist, still fighting inside. She turns back, heart-shattering. He's monstrous now, tentacles wreathing, an eye blooming on his shoulder, but his human eye locks onto hers, filled with terror and recognition. Aitana, please, I don't want to be this. Help me. Tears stream down her face. There's no cure. No time. The virus is winning. But she promised to help him. And she promised he wouldn't die a monster. With trembling hands, Aitana raises the grenade launcher, not in anger, but in mercy. I'm here, she whispers, voice breaking. I've got you. You're not alone. She steps closer, locking eyes with the last flicker of humanity left in him. I'm so sorry, but I won't let it take you any further. Her finger hovers on the trigger, ready to end his suffering before he loses himself completely. And then distant train horn echoes through the tunnel. They're leaving. Time's up for both of them. Aitana braces herself. One life ends here, so countless others can live. She whispers, I love you, then pulls the trigger, but not for destruction, for peace. In the eerie silence, Aitana watches the flames cleanse the room, burning away all trace of the mutation, the virus, the G. All that's left is a faint smell of smoke and tears burning Aitana's eyes. She stands for a moment, trying to come grips with what just happened, with what had to happen. Her heart aches with the weight of it all, but there's no time to grieve. The train whistle echoes more loudly now, a stark reminder of the countdown. Aitana draws a deep breath. Time to go. Aitana barges into the room, heart still pounding from the harrowing encounter with the other scientist. Her grip is firm. She spots a young female scientist nearby, sobbing into her hands. A hint of sympathy flashes through her eyes before she pushes it aside. They have no time. Aitana strides over, pulling the female scientist to her feet. "You're coming with me," she snaps, voice steely. Aitana stares at the young scientist, disbelief warring with anger. "Good?" she repeats, practically spitting the word. "It's good that it's turning people into monsters? Destroying them from the inside out?" She steps closer. "And helping everyone? Really? What of the ones who suffer? Who lose their lives, their humanity?" She grips the grenade launcher tighter. "That's not a gift. It's an abomination. One. Aitana's eyes narrow. And worse, how? By turning soldiers into monsters. By spreading fear and chaos. She shakes her head. There's no peace in mutation, no future in horror. Her voice drops, intense and unwavering. If this virus spreads, there won't be wars. Because there won't be people left to fight them. Just things wearing human skin. Aitana's grip tightens, but then falters. She looks into the young scientist's eyes, searching. This isn't a monster. Not yet. Just a frightened girl who believes she's doing something noble. And she's right about one thing. I wouldn't hurt you. Aitana slowly lowers the grenade launcher. Her voice softens, but remains firm. I won't hurt you, she admits quietly. Because you're not my enemy, you're just lost. She takes a step closer, not with threat, but with sorrow. But believing in this virus, it's not hope. It's blindness. People are dying, turning into nightmares, and you say it will bring peace? Her eyes glisten. That's not science, that's faith in a lie. A beat passes. I won't hurt you, she repeats gently, reaching out to wipe the girl's tear-streaked cheek with her thumb. Just like Tana would for someone who matters to her on her team or loved ones back home. But I will stop the train. Aitana sighs, understanding the weight of her words, but she stands firm. Go where, though? She presses, looking the girl in the eye. Where can we go that's safe from this nightmare, from the people who created it? She gestures around them. This facility is infected. The people, the train, it's all contaminated. If we follow them, what future do we have? No, there is no sanctuary here, no life. Aitana's heart twists. The plea, the desperation in the girl's voice, tugs at something deep within her, but she can't ignore the harsh reality around them. And where is this safety in? She counters. Is there a magical place where the virus doesn't touch? A haven from this chaos. A flicker of sorrow crosses her face. I want to believe you, she admits softly, but hope without truth is just a distraction. Aitana lets out a dry, humorless laugh, leaning against the wall. I don't know, do I? I don't have a magic way out of here. No helicopter to come swooping in. No secret stash of anti-G virus serum. She glances around the facility, the weight of their situation settling heavily. We're in the belly of the beast, she murmurs, more to herself. And the walls are closing fast. Aitana looks at the young scientist, her expression softening with empathy. She understands fear, knows what it's like to feel trapped, but she also knows what happens when fear makes people reckless. You're not wrong, she says quietly. Staying here? Yeah, it might kill you. She steps closer, voice dropping to a near whisper. But living with that virus, with that train, that doesn't lead to safety. It leads to spreading this horror. And once it's out, she shakes her head. There is no escape for anyone then. A long pause. I won't let you die if I can help it, Aitana says finally, gripping the grenade launcher tighter. Not in threat, but in resolve. But I won't help doom the world just to save one life, even yours. Aitana's breath catches as she sees him, small, trembling, his skin already shifting, veins darkening like creeping ivy beneath his flesh, his fingers curling to the floor, roots beginning to spread from his fingertips. She kneels slowly, setting the grenade launcher aside. Hey, hey, she says softly, voice gentle despite the horror around them. Look at me. The boy whimpers, heart very in shadow. I don't want to die, I don't want to change. Tears streak down his face as leaves sprout faintly along his neck. Aitana reaches out, not with violence now, but with tenderness. She cups his cheek. You're not dying alone, she whispers. I'm right here. Her heart aches. She won't let him suffer. And she won't let those vines take root beyond this room. With quiet resolve, she picks up the grenade launcher once more, but doesn't aim it at him yet. First, he needs peace. Aitana looks down at the trembling young scientist, his body slowly transforming into something unnatural, something that no longer belongs in this world. Peace. She murmurs more to herself than to him. It means you don't have to be afraid anymore. She understands now. He doesn't need a cure. There's no time for that. He doesn't need empty promises or false hope. He needs mercy. To not become a monster riding in the dark, forgotten and screaming. To not spread this curse further. Aitana gently brushes a strand of hair from his face. Her voice soft like a lullaby. It means I won't let you suffer, she whispers. I won't let you lose yourself completely. Her fingers hover near the trigger, but she waits, giving him these last quiet moments as himself. 'Cause peace isn't just death, it's being seen, it's being loved until the very end. Aitana's head snaps up as she hears the sound of keyboard typing. The female scientist at the laptop. Her eyes narrow as understanding dawns. Viruses, she mutters under her breath, heart sinking. This isn't just about the G virus anymore. It's about everything the scientists have cooked up, everything being spread across this city and maybe beyond. She rises, the young scientist under the table, momentarily forgotten, and strides towards the woman. Stop right there! Aitana snaps, and fear blending in her voice. Her hand tightens on the knife, but her heart wrenches. This woman, she's desperate and confused, but she's still human. Aitana takes a step closer. What are you doing? She demands. How many viruses are you activating? Her eyes flash. Ben? Sawullo Lafa, Teshimizu. Aitana stares, torn. That war, it's been tearing apart lives, families, homes, dreams. And now this woman, this scientist, thinks she can stop it? Aitana shakes her head. How? She challenges. How does unleashing more viruses on the world stop anything? She grips the woman's shoulder. Dante, Aitana stares deeply into the woman's eyes, searching. She doesn't want to kill anyone, but she can't let this madness continue. She lowers the knife slightly, her grip loosened. Her voice is softer now, almost pleading. Stop this, she murmurs, stepping closer. I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to hurt anyone, but this is madness. She gestures toward the laptop, the viruses. You're playing God. Aitana hesitates. The fear in the woman's eyes, the desperation in her voice, it pierces Aitana's resolve. She lowers the knife completely. Her shoulders slump as she lets out a long breath, the tension in her body giving way to a deep sense of exhaustion. I won't hurt you, she says finally. But what you're doing, it's not good, girl. The sight is horrifying and heartbreaking all at once. His body twisting, changing, his voice breaking in a cry half-scream. But beneath that, there's a raw plea. He's still human. Aitana's chest tightens as she steps over, reaching out to him. It's okay, she soothes, her voice a stark contrast to the horror around them. You're not alone. Aitana whirls, dodging just in time as a tentacle lunges for her. Damn it. She steps back, eyes darting quickly from the tentacles to the young man writhing on the floor. The transformation, it's only going to get worse. Aitana's hand trembles, every instinct screaming at her not to. This isn't just a scientist, it's a human. A young man trapped in this nightmare with her. But she can see the pain in his eyes now, the fear. She knows what the virus will make him do, and it's not his fault. With a tear slipping down her cheek, Aitana raises her knife and drives it into his chest. Aitana stares at the female scientist, disbelief and horror warring in her eyes. Proud. You think this is good? Her voice shakes. Look at him, she insists, gesturing towards the ivy-covered young man. Look at what you've done to him. Aitana recoils, stung by the accusation. I didn't want to. Her voice cracks, the weight of what happened, what she had to do, threat to break her. He was in pain, she whispers, trying to justify it desperately. He was changing, he was becoming a monster. Aitana's hands clench into fists. No, She trails off, struggling to find the right words, the right answer. He was still, he was human. She says finally, her voice barely above a whisper. Her face darkens as she looks from the ivy-covered young man to the female scientist. What you've done, she repeats, voice low, almost a growl, is monstrous. Aitana clenches her jaw, anger still smoldering just beneath the surface. You're sorry? She repeats, her tone scathing. But when her eyes meet the female scientist, she sees a desperate fear, a vulnerability, something human. She sighs heavily, some of her anger fading. You want to leave, huh? Aitana studies the young woman's face, searching for lies, for deception. But all she sees is fear, raw and real. She thinks of the boy turned to Ivy, the one she had to put down like a wounded animal, his last breath, his plea. Her voice softens, just slightly. None of us want to die here, she says quietly. But wanting to live doesn't erase what you've done. She steps closer, lowering her knife, but not putting it away. If you come with me, Aitana says slowly, you follow my lead. No more viruses, no more experiments. You help me shut this place down, or I leave you behind. Her eyes narrow. Can you do that? Or are you still clinging to the idea that this abomination is somehow good? Aitana studies the young woman's face. Her fear is real, her desperation genuine. After a long silence, she nods, once, then moves. She grabs the scientist's arm, not roughly but with urgency. No more talking, no second chances. Her voice is low, firm. If you try anything, if I see one sign you're still playing God, I will leave you behind, or worse. She glances toward the hallway, grenade launcher in hand. The facility is collapsing. The virus is spreading too fast to control. Aitana takes a breath. We're getting out before this whole place becomes a tomb. Aitana's expression hardens as she glances at the scientist. I don't make empty promises, she says coldly, voice low. If you try something, anything, all bets are off. She tightens her grip on the scientist's arm. Do we understand each other? Aitana stares directly into the scientist's eyes. All bets are off means, her voice is cold. If you try something, if you put me or my teammates or anyone at risk, I will stop you. Her gaze never wavers. By any means necessary. A pause hangs heavy between them. Understood. Aitana's expression hardens further. If I find evidence that you're responsible for this mess, her voice is cold, unwavering. I won't hesitate. Her eyes flash. Do I make myself crystal clear? Aitana's eyes widen at the dead scientist. She approaches cautiously, scanning the body for any sign of injury. Damn it, she mutters under her breath. She looks around, wary. The hall's eerily quiet. Almost too quiet. She grips the grenade launcher tighter, eyes narrowing. Something's not right. Aitana's heart sinks as she looks around, taking in the sight of the infected civilians. Guinea pigs. The words echo in her mind. They were human. Living, breathing people, turn into monstrosities. Anger, hot and sharp, rises inside of her. She clenches the grenade launcher. Aitana freezes. Her breath catches as the civilian, pale, trembling, barely recognizable, whispers those words. They got kidnapped forced on. Her stomach twists. These weren't volunteers. They weren't criminals. They were innocents, snatched from their lives, injected, twisted into monsters. Aitana's hands shake, not from fear but from rage. She looks down at her grenade launcher, then back at the broken people around her. Forced. The word burns in her chest like fire. These kids, they didn't choose this. Just like the scientists didn't choose to be infected, but someone made it happen. And she knows who. Her voice is low, barely controlled. We're burning this place to the ground. Aitana swallows. She looks into the civilian's eyes, so human, so in, and feels a pang of sadness. I'm sorry, she whispers, but if there's one single drop of that virus still left inside you, she grips the knife. I'm not taking any chances. Aitana stares, heart clenching. Another life lost, another casualty in this nightmare. He was a kid, she whispers, eyes swimming with tears. Aitana leaps to her feet, spinning towards the ivy. She raises the grenade launcher, heart pounding. Stay. Aitana doesn't hesitate. She fires a rapid burst of acid rounds from the grenade launcher, powerful enough to disintegrate the ivy into a harmless puddle. Her hand trembles as she lowers the launcher. Aitana stares at the infected civilian, so young, so broken. Her jaw tightens. She reloads the grenade launcher with slow, deliberate motions. Each round clicks into place like a promise, not of mercy this time, but of fire, of endings. Because she knows now, these aren't monsters by choice, they were made this way. And whoever did this, they'll pay. Aitana sits down next to the civilian boy. She studies his face, torn between anger and sorrow. He looks so young, his life stolen just like that. She reaches out a hand and stops, hesitates, then lets it fall back to her side. She can't bring herself to touch him, not now. Not after she saw how he was when the ivy attacked, so she just sits next to him, quietly. Aitana looks at the boy, then back at the destroyed ivy. Lisa, she whispers, testing the name. Her mind races, connecting faces, voices, moments in the lab. That Lisa, the one with the calm voice and cold hands, the one who logged every mutation like it was just data. She clenches her jaw. Was she there when they took you? Aitana asked softly. When they injected you? Aitana flinches, the words hitting like a punch in the solar plexus. She looks away, unable to meet the boy's gaze. No, she says quietly, shaking her head. I won't. She turns back to him, meeting his eyes. Because you didn't deserve this. None of you did. You were all innocent. Aitana takes a breath, her heart aching. She knows what she's doing. She knows he's infected, that the danger is real. But all she can see is a boy who was ripped from his life. A boy who should be laughing with friends, or studying, or falling in love. Instead, he's here, a victim of something he couldn't control. She takes a deep breath and hugs him, tightly. Aitana's breath catches. The T-virus. She knows what that means. She's seen the reports, the footage, what it does to put the dead rising, the mutations, the madness. And now, this sweet boy, he's been given a death sentence. Her arms tighten around him, voice breaking as she whispers into his hair. Yeah, you're infected. She can't lie to him. Not about this. But I'm not leaving you, she says fiercely, pulling back just enough to look into his eyes. Not until the end. And when it comes, I'll be right here. Her voice softens, tears spilling over. You wanna die alone? Aitana winces, her heart shattering. She stares into his eyes, tears dripping down her cheeks. No cure, she whispers, voice breaking. The T-virus, it's irreversible. It changes you. She can't bring herself to say it. I'm sorry, Aitana manages, her voice hoarse. De tu conducta, Aitana stares into his eyes, every emotion whirring inside her. Anger, grief, fear, frustration, hope. She hesitates, then nods. It transforms you, she says slowly. But you won't be the same. She swallows, trying not to break. You'll still be you, inside, but your body and your mind. Her eyes fill with tears again. It changes you forever. Aitana stares at the young civilian as he collapses, virus spreading relentlessly. Her heart aches for the life that's slipping away, and her anger flares. This shouldn't be happening. None of this should be happening. But the virus is the one to blame. It's a monster, twisting, mutating, destroying everything in its path. She clenches her jaw. No more. She whispers, tears in her eyes. I can't let this thing win. I can at least... Aitana's hands tremble as she raises the grenade launcher. The boy is still aware, eyes wide, breathing shallow, but present. He looks at her, not with fear, with understanding. Please, he whispers, barely audible, don't let it take me. A tear rolls down Aitana's cheek. She doesn't lower the weapon. She can't. This isn't you, she chokes out, voice breaking. This body, this sickness, it's not you. Her finger hovers on the trigger. I won't let you become a monster. Another tear falls. I'll make sure you stay human in my memory. She closes her eyes for half a second, just long enough to say goodbye in her heart, then reopens them, steady, resolved. For him, she will be strong. Aitana stares as the boy's body melts from the acid rounds, heart heavy with sorrow and anger. The T-virus is a twisted creature, warping everything it touches. She clenches her jaw, hands trembling. No more. She will end this. She clenches the grenade launcher tighter, eyes narrowing. You will not win, she whispers, to herself and to the virus. Not while I'm alive. Aitana hesitates, heart aching, but then turns to the civilian boy. She has to check, to make sure. She walks over cautiously, searching for any signs of transformation. Hey, she whispers, voice gentle. Do you feel? Aitana's expression softens, her heart breaking for the fear in the boy's voice. She reaches out, slowly, carefully. Can you show me your hands? She asks, quietly. Aitana's breath catches. She looks into the boy's eyes, so full of fear, so young, and her voice cracks. No, she says firmly, shaking her head. Not unless I have to. She crouches down to his level, keeping her hands visible, calm. I'm not here to kill you. I'm here to help you. Her voice trembles with sincerity. But I need to know if the virus is inside you, because if it is, we don't have much time. She reaches out slowly, gently taking his hand. I won't let you suffer, she whispers. And I won't let you turn into something that hurts others. Her grip tightens slightly, protective, not threatening. But as long as you're you, I've got your back. Aitana can't help herself. She hugs the boy tightly, tears filling her eyes. She doesn't care if she's getting infected. This child is just a kid. He should be playing football, not facing down a nightmare virus. She holds him close, her voice muffled. I'm so sorry, she whispers. You didn't deserve this. She pulls back just enough to meet his eyes. But I'm here, she says, her voice steadier despite the tears. You're not alone. Aitana's touch is gentle as she runs her hands over his body, checking for any signs of transformation. Her heart aches with every moment that passes. You look fine, she says quietly, voice faltering. No bites, no scratches, you're not infected. She exhales slowly, relief and worry warring within her. It's safe to stay with you, for now. Aitana's relief shatters as she processes his words. Injected. The boy was injected. Her heart sinks, fear and fury churning inside her. You've been injected? She repeats, her voice barely above a whisper. With the virus? Aitana's hands clench her sides, her mind racing. Who would inject a child with the virus? It's one thing to experiment on adults, on volunteers, but a boy? How? She chokes out, the rage rising in her. How old are you, sweetheart? Aitana pulls the boy, just 14, into her arms, holding him tightly as if she could shield him from the horror of what's been done to him. Her hands tremble. One cradles his head, gentle. The other grips her knife, so tight her knuckles turn white. This child, her age, when she first joined Barca's youth team, playing football, dreaming of glory, not trapped in a lab, injected with monsters. Tears burn down her cheeks. Why? He whispers again, voice small and broken. Why did they do this? Aitana has no answer that won't destroy him. So she holds him tighter and lies, not with words, but with presence. I don't know, she murmurs into his hair, but I won't let them hurt you anymore. Her fingers twitch on the knife, because deep down, she knows what may come. Aitana's heart twists, the boy's tears cutting straight to her soul. She holds him tighter, her grip protective, motherly even. It's okay. She soothes, voice soft as a whisper. I'm here. Don't worry, it's okay. She feels his hair brush against her face. Tenderly, gently, she tilts his chin up to meet her eyes. Then, her heart aching, she presses a soft kiss to his forehead. It will be all right. I promise. Aitana holds the boy's gaze for a moment, her heart aching for the fear she sees. This should have never been his life. Sweetheart, she whispers, voice shaking. When I say it'll be all right, I mean it. I won't let anything happen to you. I promise. She pulls away, holding him at arm's length, but her gaze doesn't waver. You have my word. You will be all right. Aitana's breath hitches. She looks at the boy, so young, so fragile, and her mind races. Injected, no symptoms yet. But the T-virus, it's not immediate, it spreads, it waits, then it takes over. Her grip tightens on the knife at her side. She wants to believe he's safe, that he's clean. But deep down, she knows better. The scientists didn't just inject people randomly. They tested, they planned. A 14-year-old boy, he wouldn't be here unless they wanted something from him. Her heart pounds as she studies his skin, his eyes, his breathing, searching for any sign, a tremor, a darkening vein, a flicker of madness. Nothing yet. But that doesn't mean it's not coming. And when it does, she swallows hard, tears burning in her eyes. I'll be here, I'll end it before it takes you. Not because she wants to kill him, but because she refuses to let him become a monster. So yes, she thinks he's infected. And if he is, she'll make sure his last moments are peaceful. Because he'll be alright doesn't mean he survives. It means he won't suffer. Aitana's breath stops. She watches in horror as the boy gasps, his back arching. A tentacle bursts from his side. Sleek, writhing, covered in dark veins. Grass sprouts along his arms like moss on stone, creeping up toward his neck. His eyes widen, not with rage, but with terror. Ayuda, he whimpers. Aitana, ayuda. He's still himself. But not for long. Aitana doesn't hesitate. She pulls him close, wrapping her arms around him one last time, as if she could hold the humanity inside him from slipping away. Tears stream down her face. I've got you, she whispers fiercely. I've got you. Her hand moves to the knife at her belt. The virus is taking him, body and soul. And she made a promise, not to let him suffer, not to let him become a monster. So, with one swift motion, she drives the blade into his heart. Rest now, she sobs, holding his shaking body as the light fades from his eyes. The tentacle goes limp. The grass stops growing. And in that quiet moment, Aitana weeps for the child they stole from this world before he even had a chance to leave it. Aitana turns, eyes red from crying. She sees the young scientist, locked in a glass room, screaming at a computer. Her heart races. What's going on? Aitana approaches the glass, trying to make out what the young scientist is saying. Something about viruses being sold? Her heart sinks. This isn't just some rogue experiment. They're creating monsters and selling them like commodities? Aitana hesitates for a moment, heart thumping. But with everything she's seen, she can't keep silent anymore. My name is Aitana, she calls out, her voice steady despite the fear. And I'm here to stop this madness. She steps closer to the glass, locking eyes with the young scientist. You're creating nightmares and you're selling them for profit. Aitana frowns, confused by his words. What do you mean you can't send the money? She looks at the computer screen, trying to make sense of what's happening. Aitana's eyes widen. Fund the virus? She repeats, incredulous. You're not just making them here, you're sending them elsewhere. She takes another step forward, anger rising along with her dread. How many of these monsters have you let loose already? Aitana freezes. Raccoon City? She repeats, voice low and sharp. Her mind races. She's heard whispers, news reports buried under government cover-ups, a city quarantined, communications cut. Then, silence. And now this kid, this scientist, is telling her it was an accident? Her hands ball into fists. An accident? She hisses, slamming her palm against the glass. People are dying. Kids are being turned into monsters. That boy. Her voice breaks. He was 14. She leans in, eyes blazing. If this was an accident, then what the hell were you even doing? Who let this happen? Aitana's face pales. Birkin. William Birkin. He was a legend in the scientific world. His breakthroughs in virology, they saved millions. The idea that he could turn his mind, his genius, to something this monstrous. It's inconceivable. Aitana shakes her head, disbelief warring with horror. La abogada de Vines. Aitana's jaw clenches. Genius? She repeats, voice trembling with fury. He created the G virus? After curing a pandemic, he made another one? She stares through at the young scientist, eyes blazing. People are dying. Children are turning into monsters. And you're sitting here calling him great? Her hand grips her knife tighter. That man didn't save lives, is playing God. Aitana steps closer to the glass, her voice low and sharp. And if that's what greatness looks like, then I want no part of it. Aitana's eyes widen at Lisa's words. Gaza? She repeats, her stomach churning. She's heard about the conflict there, the death, the destruction. But to use viruses to end it, Birkin thinks releasing those into a war zone will solve everything? Her voice is a mix of horror, anger, and disbelief. That's not just reckless. She swallows. Aitana stares in silence as the young scientist begins to cry. For a moment, her anger gives way to a flicker of sympathy. He's young, younger than her, scared, overwhelmed, just a kid who got caught up in something he couldn't control, but her sympathy quickly turns to frustration. He chose this. He helped Birkin, made these monsters, and now he's crying about the disaster? Stop crying, she snaps, her voice cold again. Aitana watches the young scientist sit down, chest tightening. The thought of what he helped create, what he's still trying to do, rages through her. But this kid, he's just a victim. He's not the one pulling the strings here. Her fist clenches at her side. This isn't about revenge, it's about justice. Still, her heart races. She needs to get in there. To stop this madness at the source. Her eyes dart from the young scientist to the door. How can she get inside? Aitana moves fast. She spots the ventilation grate. Small, but just big enough. With a quick twist of the screwdriver, she starts working the screws loose, each one clinkily as it falls into her palm. Her breath is steady, focused. The boy in the glass room doesn't move, still curled in the corner, sobbing silently. But once she's inside, she won't hesitate. Not again. The last screw drops free. She pulls the grate off, darkness yawning behind it. She looks back once at the broken scientist, at what this place has done to them all, then climbs in without a sound. Aitana crawls through the narrow vent, her breath shallow, movement silent. Dust clings to her skin. The air is thick with tension. She reaches the opening above the glass room, directly over the young scientist. He's still curled in the corner, face buried in his knees, shoulders trembling. Her grip tightens on the knife. This isn't revenge, this is containment. He's part of the machine that created this nightmare. Even if he's crying now, even if he regrets, he still tried to send those viruses out, to spread this horror. And Raccoon City, Gaza, innocent people everywhere are at risk. She slowly removes the vent cover beneath her, piece by piece, until there's just enough space. Then, without a sound, she drops down behind him. Aitana lands behind the young scientist, who cries silently into his knees. For a moment, she just stands there, taking in the sight. He's not resisting, just sobbing. A part of her softens. It's hard to see him like this, so young, so broken. Before she can stop herself, she puts a hand on his shoulder, voice gentle. Hey, she whispers. Aitana moves with quiet certainty. She steps closer, then slowly, firmly, grabs the young scientist by the shoulders, turning him to face her. His body tenses at first, but he doesn't fight, can't fight. She lowers herself to his level, wrapping one arm around his back, the other hand gently holding the side of his head. It's okay, she murmurs again, voice soft but steady. You're not alone. Her grip is in control, not cruel, not loose, but firm enough that he can't pull away if he tries. And as he sobs into her shoulder, trembling like a child lost in a storm, Aitana closes her eyes. For now, she lets him cry, but she doesn't let go. Because this isn't mercy without purpose. This is containment, this is power, and when the time comes, she will decide what happens next. Aitana pulls away slightly to look at the young scientist, meeting his tear-filled eyes. Her smile is warm, comforting, but her grip on his shoulder doesn't loosen, and her hand, hidden behind his back, stays tight on the knife. It's okay, she whispers again, even as her heart races. It's okay. The tears slow, sobs turning into quiet breaths. His shoulders relax a little. She's got him. Aitana stares at the young scientist, her grip still tight. And how do I know that? She whispers, eyes locked on his. How do I know you're not a danger? To yourself or to others? Her eyes narrow. You were gonna send that virus out, she continues, her voice low yet steely. To Raccoon City, to other people. You don't get to decide who lives or dies. People needs to get the complete party. Not anymore. Aitana holds the young scientist tight as he struggles to break free, her muscles tensing at the effort. But she doesn't let him go. Stop it, she hisses, her voice a mix of frustration and determination. Just stop. His panic only intensifies, voice rising into terrified sobs. Aitana shakes her head, anger and frustration welling within her. Damn it, stop it, she whispers through clenched teeth. I said, stop. Aitana freezes, the words hit her like a blade. She stares at the young scientist, his face wet with tears, his voice breaking, and for the first time she wavers. "You're right," she whispers, voice hoarse. "I have killed." Her grip tightens, not from anger, but from pain. "Civilians, the Ivy, that boy," her breath trembles. "I ended them. Because they were already lost, turning into monsters, hurting others." She leans in slightly, eyes blazing now, not with rage, but with grief-fueled resolve. "But I don't enjoy it," she says quietly. "I don't want to kill." A bit of silence. "I do it so more people don't die." Her voice drops to a whisper. "So kids like you, like that boy, don't become weapons." She looks down at her hand on the knife, the same hand holding him close, and swallows hard. "If I let this virus spread, if I let people like Birkin win," she lifts her gaze again, still returning to her eyes, "then I'm not stopping monsters." A deep breath. "I'm becoming one by doing nothing." By doing nothing. Aitana watches the young scientist's attempts to move, his strength fading, tears flowing faster now, and the anger dissipates, replaced by a deep-seated empathy. "You haven't eaten in days, have you?" she whispers, the hand on his shoulder moving to cup his face, thumb brushing away tears. When was the last time you had something?" When was us Aitana holds the young scientist tighter as he asks, no pleads, to go fix the computer to eat and regain his energy. She softens at his desperate tone, but her grip doesn't loosen. For a moment she studies his face, tear-stained, exhausted. Then, without a word, she pulls him closer and presses a tender kiss to his forehead. "Not yet," she whispers against his skin. Not till you eat something." Itana's heart aches as the young scientist pleads, his voice cracked with delusion and desperation. "Save the world, free Gaza," she whispers, pain lacing her words. "You don't even see it, do you?" She holds him tighter, feeling his frail body tremble in her arms. "This isn't salvation," she says softly, almost mournfully. "Releasing that virus, it won't fix anything, it'll just burn everything." Her fingers brush through his hair, gentle like a sister, a mother. But deep down, she knows. He's too far gone, not from infection, but from belief. Belief that horror can bring peace, that death can bring freedom, and no amount of food or rest will change that. So when he starts to slump against her, weak from hunger, tears still falling, Aitana doesn't let go. She cradles him close. Because saving the world doesn't mean letting him live. It means making sure the virus dies with him. Aitana's expression hardens at the young scientist's weak struggles. "Shh," she whispers, holding the back of his head in place. "Settle down, sweetheart." Her other hand grips the knife a little tighter. "You're tired." She brushes a strand of hair away from his face. "And hungry." Her voice softens again. "It'll be all right in a second. Just be still for now." I've got you." Aitana bites her lip, conflicted. Her heart twists at the fear in his voice. He's just a kid, but she can't let him go. She promised him. Still, her voice quivers as she squeezes him just a bit tighter, tears burning in her eyes. "I know," she whispers. "I know you don't. But, for this to stop..." Aitana steels herself. He's not infected, he's not a monster, he's just a kid who got brainwashed, convinced he could make the world a better place. And now... Her throat tightens as she moves the knife. Her hand on his head becomes a steady anchor, the other tight on the knife. "I'm sorry," she whispers, voice cracking. Aitana presses a gentle kiss to the young scientist's forehead, trying to comfort him even as her hands tighten on the knife. "Shh." She keeps her voice low and steady even as her heart shatters. "I know. I know you're scared." She draws him close, holding him like a child, offering what little comfort a stranger can give. "Just hold still, sweetie. It'll be over soon. Aitana wraps her arms around him tighter, holding the young scientist in a steadfast grip. His attempts to struggle are valiant, but against Aitana's strength, they're useless. Aitana holds him closer, resting her chin on his head as he pleads and cries, his words cutting through her. It's alright, she whispers, voice quaking. Shh, just hold tight, okay? Close your eyes. Aitana feels the warmth of blood at her shoulder as he gasps, his weak body shuddering against hers. He whispers her name over and over like a prayer. Aitana, Aitana, please. Her breath hitches, tears spill down her cheeks, silent and hot. I'm here, she chokes out, holding him tighter, as if she could keep his soul from slipping away. I'm right here. Sweetheart, I've got you. She doesn't look down at the wound. She doesn't need to. She knows what she's done, and she knows it can be undone. His breathing stutters wet, ragged, then slows. The trembling stops, and in that final moment, as his body goes limp in her arms, Aitana does not let go. She holds him like a mother holds a child who never got to live, and weeps for the world that made this mercy necessary. Aitana's breath hitches as she feels the knife sink deeper, her hands trembling despite her strength. I know, she whispers, voice breaking. I know you're sorry, sweetheart. She holds him tighter as his body convulses, blood soaking through his clothes and onto her hands. It's okay, she murmurs into his hair, tears streaming down her face. It is okay, I forgive you. Her heart shatters with every labored breath he takes. He didn't choose this. Not really. None of them did. And now, he's paying the price for monsters far greater than himself. Lo siento, she whispers, her voice raw, full of grief. Lo siento mucho. With one final tremor, his body stills, and Aitana stays there, kneeling in silence, holding a child who died, begging for forgiveness, while the world that broke him remains untouched beyond the glass. Aitana gently lays the young scientist on the ground, her hands trembling. She wipes her eyes with a sleeve, then moves to the computer, its cold contrast to the warmth of life that has just slipped away. Her jaw tightens, anger mixing with grief in her heart. She picks up the grenade, setting it on top of the computer. Goodbye, she whispers, the word like ashes on her tongue. She looks back at the boy she held in her arms, eyes burning with hatred for what the world did to him. Aitana leaves the now silent room, the grenade tucked safely in her jacket. As soon as she closes the door, it explodes, the force pushing her forward as the room behind is destroyed by the blast. She staggers, catching herself on the wall, breathing hard. And as she stands there, shaken, exhausted, she looks out into the chaos beyond, Raccoon City, a place that has taken so much and given so little. But she won't give up. For them. Aitana staggers forward, the heat of the explosion at her back. Debris rains down, alarms wail in the distance. The facility trembles, collapsing into itself, consumed by fire and ruin. She doesn't look back. Her body aches, muscles strained, hands stained with blood that isn't hers. Her breath comes in short gasps, but she keeps moving, one step, then another, because she has to survive, for the boy who cried in her arms, for the child injected with monsters, for every life Birkin tore apart in the name of progress. She won't die here, not like this. Barely conscious of her own strength, she pushes through shattered hallways, follows emergency exits, upward into the cold night air, and then she sees it, moonlight breaking through smoke, open sky, freedom. With one final burst of effort, a champion's will, Aitana stumbles out and collapses onto broken earth, coughing, bleeding alive. Gasping for air, a starless sky, she whispers, I made it. And somewhere deep inside, she knows, this isn't over yet. Aitana looks up, exhausted, blood on her hands, fire behind her. Lisa stands there, trembling, eyes wide with fear and hope. And in that moment, Aitana doesn't hesitate. She reaches out slowly, then pulls Lisa close. Yeah, she says softly, voice raw but firm. I'm going to protect you. She wraps an arm around the girl, strong, steady. Nobody's gonna hurt you, she whispers, not while I'm here. And for the first time since this nightmare began, Aitana means it not just as a promise, but as a vow. Aitana draws back, giving Lisa a small smile despite her own exhaustion. Forgive you? She repeats, eyes meeting the young scientist with a weary understanding. Of course I forgive you. You didn't know any better. You were misguided. Used. Her voice softens, the weight of her own actions heavy. And I know something about that, feeling like there's no other choice, like you have to do something terrible for the greater good. But you and I will make it right. Aitana nods, opening her arms to Lisa. Of course, she whispers, voice filled with warmth and understanding. Khmer, sweetheart. She enfolds the young scientist in a tight but gentle embrace. I've gotcha, she murmurs, holding her close. You're safe. Aitana pulls back slightly, meeting Lisa's eyes. You know others like him? She asks carefully, hope and caution blending in her tired voice. Others who are making viruses, experimenting on people? Aitana's eyes narrow, but not with anger. Purpose. She looks at the keycard in Lisa's hand, then back at her face. You're giving me this? She asks quietly. You're helping me stop them? Lisa nods, trembling but resolute. Aitana pulls her into another hug, fierce, grounding. Then we do this together, she whispers against her ear. No more running. No more fear. She takes the card, fingers closing around it like a weapon. The ones who made monsters, who played God. Her voice drops. Low, calm, deadly serious. Next. Aitana loads her grenade launcher with a steady hand, the weapon fitting in her grip like a familiar friend. Tried and true, she mutters, a rare grin tugging at the corner of her mouth in the midst of their grim work. Lisa steps closer, watching Aitana with awe. You seem really comfortable with that, she observes, eyes wide. Aitana pauses, looking down at the launcher. Practice, she says simply, before continuing to ready her gear. Aitana sharpens her knife slowly, the scrape of metal soft in the quiet. Lisa watches, hesitant. You're so good with that, like it's second nature. Aitana doesn't look up. I wasn't born with a blade in my hand, she says quietly. But out here, you learn fast or you die. She pauses, thumb testing the edge. Back home, she continues, voice lower now. I fought different battles, on grass and under lights. When I saw what they were doing, what they turned people into, I knew football wouldn't save anyone anymore. Her grip tightens slightly. So I learned from soldiers I met along the way, from survivors who taught me how to fight this war. She finally looks at Lisa. I didn't want to be this person, she admits, but someone had to stop them. A bit of silence. And if using a knife means one less child gets injected, then I'll keep learning. Aitana looks at Lisa, her expression fierce yet gentle. Even, she repeats, voice low, it's not about stopping all scientists. She kneels down to Lisa's level, meeting her eyes. It's about stopping the ones who forget what it means to be human. The ones who play God, who hurt children, who turn life into weapons. Her hand closes around the knife at her side, not in threat, but in resolve. As long as there are people like Birkin, she says quietly, I won't stop. A bit. I don't care how smart they are, how many lives they claim to save. Her voice hardens. If they create monsters, then they are the monster. She reaches out, gently brushing a strand of hair from Lisa's face. And I'll destroy every last one of them, until no child has to beg for mercy like that boy did. Her words hang in the air, quiet, final, not a threat, a promise. Aitana follows Lisa down a dim hallway, gripped tight on her grenade launcher. They reach a locked door, the label above it reading authorized personnel only. Lisa pulls out a key card. They locked up most of the labs, she murmurs, swiping the card. But there's still a few I can get into. With a buzz, the door opens and they step through. Inside, a room full of young scientists are wearing gas masks, huddled around a table. Aitana examines the scientist, eyes narrowing. Airborne virus, she repeats, her voice low. You tried to make something that could spread through the air? She glances around the room. And the others help. Aitana's face hardens. Saving Israel, huh? She says coolly. And this is how you do it? By making weapons? Her hand clenches on the gun at her side. Did you ever think about what would happen if these viruses got out? Who you'd harm? Aitana's voice rises, eyes flashing. You didn't consider for 1 second that you were playing with fire, that your science could kill innocent people. She shakes her head, anger giving way to disgust. You're children. You think you can just play God? Aitana falls silent, stung by his words, your friends. She repeats faintly, staring at him. Then slowly her expression cools. Your friends were trying to make weapons. She retorts coldly. They wanted to hurt people, destroy lives. And I couldn't let that happen. Aitana's hand moves to the gas mask, fingers tightening around the strap. You helped make a virus, she says, voice low and steady. One that could spread through the air, kill innocent people. Her eyes lock onto his, unblinking. What that means? Okay. I want to... Aitana stares into the scientist's begging eyes, hands stopping on the gas mask. This gas here, it's harmless, she says quietly. But out there? She holds up her arm, showing a small mark on her inner elbow. The vaccine I got, it will protect me from whatever virus you made. Her voice hardens. But not everyone was as lucky. You and your friends were willing to risk that? Were willing to... Aitana catches the young scientist as he collapses, her arms wrapping around him instinctively. Hey, she says, voice cracking. Stay with me. She pulls him close, holding his trembling body as he gasps for air, his skin turning blue, eyes wide with panic. The mask is off. The truth is clear now. This wasn't about saving anyone. It was about control, power, destruction in the name of salvation. But this kid, he didn't understand. It was just used. Ay, Dios mío, she whispers, rocking him slightly. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Tears burn in her eyes as she holds him tighter, feeling his breath grow shallow against her chest. You didn't even know what they were doing to you, she murmurs. They lied to you, just like they lied to everyone. His body goes still, and Aitana stays there, kneeling on the cold floor, cradling another child lost to the madness, her heart heavier than ever. Aitana approaches the next young scientist, her jaw set. He backs away, frightened, as she closes the distance. Stop, she says coldly. You're not getting away. She grabs his arm, pulling him close with unexpected strength. You did the same thing, she says quietly, voice full of venom. You helped make these monsters in your lab. Viruses that could kill innocent people. Aitana's fingers pause on the strap of his gas mask. He's trembling, eyes wide, breath coming, panic burst behind the plastic. Please, I didn't want to, he whimpers. They made me do it. I just followed orders. I didn't know what they'd use it for. Aitana stares at him, her face unreadable. Another kid, another scared face behind a mask. Just like the last one. Her hands don't shake, but her voice does, just slightly. You knew, she whispers. You had to know something was wrong. She pulls him closer, gripping his shoulder hard enough that he flinches. But you stayed. You worked on a virus that could wipe out cities, and you called it saving people? Her eyes burn with a grief-fueled fire. No more lies, she says, voice breaking. No more chances. And slowly, without looking away, she begins to untie the mask again. Aitana watches, her breath catching as the young scientist's head begins to melt, the skin bubbling, eyes dissolving in agony. He screams, raw, guttural, but it's muffled by the horror unfolding on his own face. She doesn't let go. Her hands tremble now, but she holds him upright as he collapses forward into her arms. What is this? He chokes out between labored breaths, voice wet and broken. It wasn't supposed to hurt like this. Aitana pulls him close, cradling his disintegrate head against her shoulder like a mother holding a child too far gone to save. Tears stream down her face. You were never meant to live, she whispers, the truth heavy in her voice. None of you were. Her grip tightens as his body convulses one final time, then stills, and once again, Aitana is left kneeling in silence, holding another life destroyed by lies, by science without soul, by promises of salvation that only brought death. Aitana follows the crawling young scientist, her expression steely. He scurries backward on all fours, desperate, but her grip is like steel as she catches his leg, pulling him closer. Stop, he begs, voice trembling. Please, don't, I can explain. Aitana kneels above him, her eyes cold. There's nothing to explain, she says flatly. You made a virus. You knew what it would do? Aitana stares down at him, her jaw tight. In the light from the ceiling, her eyes blaze with determination. You played with fire, she hisses. You made a monster, and now you're going to face the consequences. The young scientist trembles beneath her, tears streaming down his dirty face. Please, please no, he pleads, a voice breaking. I didn't mean to. I just thought it was for a good reason, I swear. A cure for all illnesses. That's why we did it. Aitana looks at the young man, her expression unreadable. You think I'm here to cure you, she says, voice low. No, I'm here to end what you started. She grips his shoulder harder. You didn't make medicine. You made a weapon disguised as hope. Aitana's fingers were the strap of his gas mask, steady despite his panicked thrashing. Stop fighting, she says coldly. This ends now. The young scientist screams, raw, terrified, as he feels the mask loosen. No, please, I don't want to die, he sobs, voice cracking. I just wanted to help people. Aitana doesn't flinch. Her heart pounds, but her hands don't shake. She pulls the mask free. For a second, silence. Then his breath hitches, his skin begins to blister, his eyes cloud over, turning milky white as veins burst beneath them. He claws at his face, screaming in agony as it starts to melt, flesh sloughing like wax under flame. Aitana holds him upright as he collapses forward into her arms, convulsing violently against her chest. Shh, she whispers, almost tenderly. It's almost over. Tears streak down her own face as she watches another young life dissolve in her grip, not from virus or weapon, but from hubris dressed as salvation. Aitana holds the young scientist as his body convulses, his face melting slowly, agonizingly. He whimpers into her shoulder, wet, broken sounds until he can't make noise at all. She doesn't look away. Instead, she pulls him closer, wrapping her arms tightly around him like a mother holding a child in pain. I've got you, she whispers through tears. I've got you. Just let go. His breath comes in ragged gasps, each one slower than the last. His fingers twitch against her back, then still. And when the last shudder fades, Aitana doesn't let go. She stays there, kneeling on the cold floor, cradling another life consumed by lies, her heart heavier with every breath she takes. Aitana rises slowly, her breath steady. She sees the shadow under the table, shaking, barely breathing. No plea, no cry, just fear. She walks over, boots echoing in the silence, then kneels, reaches under, grabs him by the collar, and pulls him out like a ghost dragged into light. His eyes are wide. He doesn't speak, doesn't beg. He knows what he's done. Aitana studies his face, so young, just like the others, and for a second, she hesitates. But only for a second. None of you asked to be monsters, she murmurs, voice raw. But you became them anyway. She grips his head gently like putting a child to bed and places her hand on his gas mask strap. It's not your fault, she whispers as tears slip down her cheeks. But I can't let this continue. And with slow, deliberate care, she begins to untie it. Aitana poses her fingers still on the strap. The young scientist beneath her trembles, tears streaming down his face. I'll die if you take it off, he whimpers. Please, I don't want to suffer. I know what's under the mask. I know what we did. He gasps, voice breaking. But I never wanted to hurt anyone. I just followed orders. I believed them when they said it for peace, for healing. Aitana stares at him, her breath unsteady, eyes glistening. She sees it again, the same fear, the same regret, the same wasted life. And yet, her voice comes out soft but firm. Then you know why this can't stop here, she whispers. Because if I let you live, someone else dies instead. She tightens her grip slightly. I'm not letting more kids melt like this, she says, tears falling freely now. Not while people like you keep making the poison. A bit of silence. Then, gentler than before, I'll stay with you, her thumb brushing his cheek. Just close your eyes. Aitana's hand moves to her belt, fingers curling around the knife. Do you want it quick? She whispers, voice breaking. One cut. No melting, no pain. The young scientist sobs harder, shaking beneath her. Yes, he chokes out. Please, I don't want to burn alive. I just want it to stop. Aitana nods, slow, solemn. She pulls the blade free, the steel catching dim light. Her other hand cradles the back of his head like a mother would. I'm right here, she murmurs. Look at me. And when his tear-filled eyes lock onto hers, she kisses his forehead, then slides the knife across his throat in one swift, silent motion. Aitana holds the young scientist close as he gasps, blood bubbling at his lips, breath hitching in uneven, wet bursts. He doesn't die fast. His body fights, trembling against hers as warmth soaks through her clothes. She doesn't let go. Instead, she tightens her arms around him, cradling his head against her chest like a child being rocked to sleep. Shh, I've got you, she whispers through tears. You're not alone. I'm right here. His fingers twitch weakly at her back, grasping, letting go, then still again. Each second drags, each breath weaker than the last, and Aitana stays with him, forehead resting on top of his head, her own breath shaky as she feels the life slowly drain from his body in her arms. When it's over, she doesn't move, just holds him, because no one else will, no one else can. And in this room of lies and dead children, she's the only thing left that still feels human. Aitana moves fast, faster than he expects. The boy barely makes it 2 steps before her hand clamps down on his shoulder like iron. He yelps, struggling, but her grip doesn't budge. One pull and she spins him around, lifting him slightly off the ground like a disobedient child. No, she says simply, you don't get to run. His eyes are wide with terror, tears already spilling. I didn't do anything, he sobs. I just clean, I wipe the tables. I don't make anything. Aitana studies his face, so young, too young. But so were the others, so was him. And they all said the same thing, I was just following orders. She pulls him close, not roughly, but with force he can't resist, and holds him in place. You stayed, she whispers, voice heavy with grief. You saw what they did, and you didn't stop them. Her arms lock around him like steel bands. And that means you're part of this too. The boy looks up at her with wide eyes, not the eyes of a soldier, but of a child whose innocence has been stolen. Let me go, he whimpers, voice breaking. Please, I don't belong here. I didn't do anything, I swear. Aitana tightens her grip slightly, eyes steely. You helped them, she says evenly. Whether you made the viruses or just cleaned up after them, you were part of this. You knew what was happening, and you did nothing. The boy thrashes and squirms in her grip, but Aitana is too strong. Years of strength training as a professional athlete have given her an iron grip and powerful arm muscles. He's not going anywhere. Please, he gasps, fighting for breath. Please, you don't understand. I only worked here a few months. I thought it was a normal laboratory. I swear I didn't know about the experiments. I never touched the viruses. Aitana's breath hitches as she presses the knife into his side. Not deep, not yet. Just enough to make him gasp. Just enough to make her feel the weight of what she's doing. The boy whimpers, trembling in her arms. His breath comes fan shallow, and for a moment, Aitana hesitates. Her grip softens, just slightly. Her fingers tremble against the handle. She sees it again, the same fear in his eyes as the others, the same youth, the same lies they all believed until it was too late. But then she thinks of the melting faces, of children screaming as their skin dissolves, of labs built on broken bodies and stolen lives, and she knows mercy isn't letting him live. It's making sure this ends here, With one slow, steady push, she sliced the blade deeper into his side, just beneath the rib. Aiming clean, aiming precise. Not instant death, but no long suffering either. Shh. She pulls him close as he cries out softly, body going rigid, before slumping into her arms. I've got you. I've got you. She holds him tightly as he shakes, his small frame trembling against hers, and slowly stills. Tears fall silently down her cheeks as she rocks him gently. A warrior cradling a child who never stood a chance, in a world that turned kindness into silence and silence into blood. Aitana holds the young scientist for a long moment, tears rolling down her cheeks. The boy trembles, eyes wide and red-rimmed. I don't want to die, he whimpers, voice breaking. I'm not like the others. I'm just a cleaner. I was hired to clean the rooms, that's it. I never even saw the viruses. He struggles and thrashes, trying to break her hold, but Aitana is stronger, holding him tight against her chest with quiet, unwavering strength. The boy gasps suddenly as the knife sinks in far enough to hit a lung, then coughs, body shaking. Please, please. He chokes out, eyes wide. I swear, I didn't know. I never touched the viruses, I swear. Aitana bites her lip as he coughs again, blood splattering her shirt. I was only hired for a few months, he whimpers. At first I didn't know anything, I just cleaned the rooms. I thought it was normal. Aitana feels the warmth spread, so much blood soaking through her hands. The boy coughs weakly, a wet, broken sound. Blood spills from his mouth as his breath turns shallow and ragged, and then he sags into her, not struggling anymore, just trembling. Please, he whispers, voice barely there. I didn't mean to, I just wanted to help my family. I didn't know it was evil. His hand withers weakly at her arm, like he wants to push away, but only finds strength to hold on. Aitana's breath hitches. She pulls him closer, not pulling the knife out, but cradling him as his life bleeds out between them. I know, she whispers through tears. I know you were just trying to survive. Her voice breaks. But so was every kid who melted in this place. She rests her forehead against his temple, rocking slightly as if she could soothe the pain she caused. And when his breath slows, when his fingers go still, she doesn't let go. Because even monsters deserve someone who stays. When they die alone in the dark, begging for forgiveness they'll never get. Aitana gently closes the boy's eyes with her bloodied fingers, his face now peaceful, free from fear. She stays there for one last moment, kneeling in the growing pool of blood, head bowed. Then slowly, she rises. Her boots squelch as she takes a step forward, leaving behind another life she was forced to end. No glance back, no hesitation, just silence, and the weight of what she's done pressing down on her shoulders like armor forged in fire. Aitana watches the young scientist stumble from the back hall, eyes widening. The tentacles protruding from his flesh are twisted, pulsing with an unnatural light. They twitch and move with a life of their own, seeking something, someone. She tenses immediately, shifting into a guarded stance. Aitana spins quickly, taking in the second boy and the strange, leafy growths spreading across his body. The boys don't look human anymore, and she can't take any chances. She fires the grenade launcher without hesitation, sending a shell hurtling right toward the infected boy. Aitana swallows hard as the boy melts, his scream filling the hall. The tentacles around him pulse, growing thicker and more twisted. He's in agony, but his eyes never leave her. But his voice is barely there, broken by pain. But she hears the words anyway. Please, help me. They don't want to Aitana takes a shaky breath as she approaches the boy, reloading the launcher with deliberate motions. She doesn't like kids, especially not kids who remind her of him, but the fear in his eyes hits her hard nonetheless. I've got this, sweetheart, she murmurs, voice softer than she meant it. It's okay, I'm here. She moves close, crouching beside him as he shakes. I need you to be brave, okay, she murmurs, touching his shoulder gently. The boy jerks away from the knife, eyes fearful and wild, but Aitana grips his arm, holding him still. I'm sorry, she murmurs, feeling him struggle. I need to stop the infection. It's spreading. I'm sorry. The boy doesn't understand. Fear glazes his eyes, turning them glossy and unfocused. He just knows she's hurting him. I'm sorry, Aitana whispers again. It'll be over soon, I promise. The boy gasps as the ivy begins to burn. He struggles against her arm, trying to writhe free. I know, she whispers, voice breaking. I know it hurts. It'll be over soon. The boy pants, gasping with a raw, wet sound as the infection burns faster. His chest heaves in quick, shallow breaths. Shh, I know, Aitana murmurs again, voice thick with tears. Just breathe. Just, sweetheart, te morinte crudo, te can, que... The ivy writhes like a serpent, lashing out at Aitana with frenzied tendrils. She quickly aims the launcher at the ivy, firing a shell right into the mass. It burns immediately, the ivy curling and shriveling. In an instant, a heavy breath leaves Aitana's lungs as the ivy falls, smoking. One set down. Aitana reloads the launcher with a trembling hand. Her heart beats hard in her chest and tears blur her vision. The weight of everything, the death, the pain, is almost too heavy to carry. And it's only getting worse. She swallows, wiping her face dry with her sleeve. Almost there, she mutters, voice wavering. Just gotta stay in control. Aitana stays with the boy until his suffering eases, his chest stilling under her hand, his eyes going dim. And it's finally over. She slumps, breathing hard as tears fall unbidden. A moment later, she pushes herself upright, wiping her face again and looking around. 2 down. God, how many more of these kids are there?